Hey guys, I'd like to explain the Stuna crew and how it works in a base defense. So, one of the most important members of this crew is Strike Team Una. Now, Strike Team Una, whenever her ability reduces shield mitigation, which is basically the damage that goes to your shields. And so, by default, that's 80%. But her ability affects it like it's at 100%. So that's why I boost it with Picard Bev, and that puts it at 55%. So by round 2, she completely ignores the shields of an attacker. Now, if you also add Harrison, Harrison will ignore all shield Harrison combined with Stuna will ignore all shields basically throughout the entirety of the combat. But the key is you have to make sure Stuna survives until round 2. Now, this crew also has an important member of Crass. You want to keep Crass around. Crass prevents Rom from delaying your first round shots into the second round. So you always want to have Crass in your base defense because Rom is pretty overpowered otherwise. Now, another really important crew member is Strike Team Ortegas. Strike Team Ortegas delays shots, basically adds a round of cooldown to everyone's weapons. So if and if you boost it, you have a 100% chance of it. And so by default, she's at 40%. I like to boost it. I like to guarantee a shot delay. Those are really helpful to have. Now, one of the really helpful punch up members of this crew is Pawn. Pawn will basically allow let me pull this up. Pawn has a 40% chance to delay shots for 3 rounds. And now, just as an FYI, this ability only currently works in defense. You cannot attack a player and it work. It's either mislabeled or broken. We have reported it, but they said they are aware of the problem and they are looking into solutions. Another thing about Pawn that is kind of broken right now is the baby jelly does not affect his ability. Had the baby jelly worked, you could get this ability up to about 68%, which is almost double. It would probably work twice as much as it does right now. But unfortunately, at this time, it is not functional. But with those four ship setups, I can basically ignore shields of anybody who's attacking my base. And with Pawn and Ortegas, you extend the fight. That way, you could do more damage to somebody, especially bigger players. Now, that said, my base gets attacked a lot. We have a player who's at level 58 who likes to target my base. Now, I'm a level 41. I typically wouldn't have much of a shot against it, but if you look at this Enterprise, check out the shield damage on his ship. There's no shield damage. His shields are full because Harrison and Stuna completely ignored it. And if you go in here, you can see Pawn triggered right here in round 1. So if you go through the battle log, you'll see his ship did not fire at mine until round 4. So round 4. And there you see he finally hit my Rialta. And because of that, he did not win that fight. What was also nice is I only had 5 ships in my dock. So he had a little bit of an advantage there. He seems to try to attack my base when I have less than 6 ships in. And there were reasons that he would try to do that. But let's see here. I have a few other battle reports that kind of are some of the similar things here. So like here is his Corvus. He hit me with his Corvus, and as you can see, it did a little more than 50% damage to his Corvus. And I went 10 rounds against that. What was I looking for? Not that. I did not have this ready. All right, so I wanted to show what happens if like the maximum thing attacks you. I don't have the full battle log, but this battle log went 14 rounds. And this is against a ship that I shouldn't have had. I have no real reason to be in the fight against that. And I lost pretty heartedly, but I did a significant amount of damage. He said himself, was like, I did not expect that much damage. That is impressive. But when let me see here, this is a firing pattern for the Enterprise D. Now, one of the things that is key to remember about base defense is whenever a ship attacks, it can only attack one target. Like each weapon here can attack one target. So if I have 6 ships, that means it takes till round 5 for him, if he's one-shotting, to get to kill my 6th ship. And then I have 5 defensive platforms. That means he has to get through to 8 rounds before he has basically gotten through all my ships and my platforms. But because of my fight extending crew, we went to round 14, which means we extended the fight by 6 rounds, and I did 6 extra rounds of damage. And that is what makes this crew kind of like set apart from others. One of the things that really works well is that the ships attack via a favorable combat circle. So explorers attack interceptors first, and interceptors attack battleships, and then battleships attack explorers, and then their own type, and then the reverse order, the least favorable one. And then surveys are always going to be last after battleships. So I set up my defense with 5 battleships and 1 explorer. That way I can determine my strike team Una will last into round 2. Because like say like a Pilum or Sanctus, they fire 3 times round 1. And it's important to basically protect her into the second round. That way you can do the maximum damage. And they attack that favorable circle from the weakest ship to the strongest ship. So that's how you can determine who's attacking what. And they attack with in the ship's strength of weakness to strength is determined by the uncrewed strength of the ship. So that is this strike team with a Stuna crew, and that's why it works. And if you have any questions, post a comment or hit me up on Discord.